Oh look, another Magic game's been released after the abysmal release of Square Enix's Forspoken, a Magic game that's been around since 1997. And you would assume that's why it's named Hogwarts Legacy, but in reality, that name comes from the game's exploration of the institution's history. Despite not having read any Harry Potter books as a child, after finishing this game, I am prepared to wager cash that this game is every Harry Potter fan's wet dream.
Ooh, scandalous!
I'm making such a big statement because I have no doubt in my mind that Hogwarts Legacy was created with passion. Anyone who knows about the game's developer, Avalanche Software, shouldn't be surprised by this either. Tacking the Power of Juju, a beloved platformer, was created by the same exact team. The level of production in Hogwarts Legacy had me utterly awestruck. It was everything about this game. It was the graphics to the voice acting and the level design. This is all complemented by a whimsical soundtrack that transports you to the Harry Potter universe like no other. I cannot stress enough that I came into this game with a limited knowledge of the Harry Potter world, and yet within the first hour of the game, I was entrenched deep into the Slytherin lifestyle. The character creators where it all begins. Everyone can find something to feel included here. And since the majority of my audience is black and brown, I am aware that you, the viewer, identify with my struggle when it comes to creating a role-playing persona. Hogwarts does not operate this way. The numerous skin tones and textures for your avatar look fantastic, and the attention to detail in the hairstyles are amazing. For the men, the fades are crisp, and for the ladies, the curls are bouncy. Once your own character is completed, you are admitted into Hogwarts as a fifth-year student attempting to catch up with the other students. From there, you attend classes where you learn new spells, and you unearth a plot that jeopardizes the wizard's way of life. The fact this game tried its best to woo a new generation of Harry Potter fans is one of the things that I enjoyed about it most. Simply because the game looked good, the developers were well aware that it would draw on individuals like myself who have never watched a movie or read a book. They were able to include several features that help players get used to the game thanks to their foresight. There are several notes sprinkled across the map to instruct players about the world that are found in front of significant sculptures, structures, and rooms. I'd liken it to the Codex in Mass Effect. It's completely voluntary, and there's a variety of information there to ensure that you're not left in the dark. The player is motivated to explore because doing so rewards them with knowledge, experience points, and a map of the area. Brooms are the best means of transportation. Once the broom is unlocked, you can travel wherever you like. Exploration is great because you aren't constrained by your skill level. Nothing is off-bound, so you won't be stopped if you enter a space where high-level adversaries spawn. Instead, you'll be required to use skill to defeat more difficult foes, and in return, you'll get better things earlier on in the game. I was able to explore and get lost in the game early on because you're not limited by your level, so as long as you know how to dodge and fight, you survive. Therefore, you can explore. I will add, for the most part, the outfits you discover during your quests are pretty ugly. The majority of the outfits you unlock are absolutely hideous, but you will stumble across the occasional fire fit. In particular, the headwear is ugly, and the fact that the majority of the gear with the greater stats are the ugliest does not help. The good news though is that you are not restricted to any appearance. To keep your wizard looking fresh, you can head into the transmog menu to modify your look. Now with all this talk of the world and exploration and the gear, you're probably sitting there wondering,
tell me about the game.
The best way to explain Hogwarts Legacy is it's an action-adventure puzzle game. There are 34 spells in combat, and you can unlock up to 4 loadouts, allowing you to carry up to 16 spells at once. It's up to you, the player, to decide which spell combination is best for juggling adversaries and extending combos because each spell has advantages and disadvantages. The combat has a Simon Says component to it that gives additional depth. Opponents will deploy shields, therefore you must use the appropriate color spell to remove it before attacking them. It seems simple, but things might get complicated if you're surrounded by numerous foes. The ability to choose a stealthier path during combat impressed me the most. You obtain an invisibility spell early on, which you can use to sneak around and take down opponents. This was a good strategy to employ while facing stronger foes like the trolls. You can kill a few foes and reduce one of the larger monsters' health before engaging in combat rather than charging in and getting ganged up on. You also have access to an ultimate if you rather charge in head first. For every positive thing you do, your screen's bottom meter fills up. The power of the move increases the more the meter you have. The variety of ultimates include everything from lightning strikes to turning your opponent into a chicken. Just make sure to spend some time in that talent menu. You can further customize your playstyle by unlocking new skills and perks from the variety of skill trees in the game. The game's puzzles can best be described as passable, with a few exceptions. Most consist of move this object to open this door. I didn't feel motivated to solve any of the puzzles that weren't necessary to advance the plot as a result due to their repetitive nature. The Merlin trials are the biggest offender. They're overwhelming because there were what appeared to be like a million of them scattered across the map. I believe this game would have benefited from being a shorter, more focused journey, because by the middle of the game, if you open the map, it started to look like a Ubisoft game. I experienced a few more problems with this game in addition to that. As I said earlier, the designers tried their best to create a game that simplifies the Harry Potter universe for newcomers, but they tried is the key word. The game's first half was simple to grasp, but after the halfway point, I was absolutely baffled by all the wizard jargon that was suddenly thrust in my direction. I also didn't like the fact your behavior has no repercussions. I dislike when dialogue options are included in a game but they have no impact. You're given options on how to respond in conversations, but they always end up leading in the same place. And the biggest offender is the inclusion of the dark arts. In this game, you can pick up forbidden spells that kill people. Throughout your quest, you keep hearing about how terrible they are, but once you know them, nobody seems to care. The writing is just inconsistent, which is why it doesn't work. It's unfortunate that Avalanche missed an opportunity to include a morality system in this game. Fighting is enjoyable, but the game could use a wider range of foes. You can switch off your brain around a third of the way through the game because you've seen every enemy and you're familiar with all of their strategies. And the final objective, the lack of variety among the enemies really becomes apparent. The set piece was cool, but the fights were terrible. The game's ending was so terrible that I had to lower my rating. Knowing that my adventure concludes with an endurance test just did not feel fulfilling. You finished waves of the same opponents to finish the game. The final boss felt like something taken directly out of Tom Clancy's The Division because it was so boring and uninteresting. And the final scene of Hogwarts Legacy, you're fighting a four-phased bullet sponge while circling in place. The fight does not advance in any kind of way during those 4 phases. It just gets a little bit faster. And by the end of the last mission, I had a headache and I had pain in my eyes. I was astonished by the way that this game concluded. Matter of fact, this game is a prime example of why I don't give definitive opinions until I finish a game. How a game starts is not how necessarily it finishes. But that doesn't mean I hate the game. It's still a good game, but it's a good game with a few problems. I think Avalanche managed to produce a solid foundation for what I believe will become a franchise eventually. If they just clean up a few things and add Quidditch, I could see people really loving that sequel. I like this game. I like this game. I like this game. I like this game. But if I had to describe it, I'd say Hogwarts Legacy is a 9 or a 10 for hardcore Harry Potter fans. But if you're just a gamer looking to try something new, it's like a 7, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a decent game. A decent game I'd recommend waiting to pick up until the price drops. If you're not a big Harry Potter fan, I promise you can wait for this one when it hits at like $40, okay? So hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. If you've played Hogwarts Legacy, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And once again, thank you for watching. I'm the Black Hokage, aka TBH, and to be honest, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. And this is the part where I fade to black. Not because I'm black, which is also a member of the Gaming Illuminati podcast. Check it out at youtube.com/GI updates. Okay, I swear to God, I'm done.